and I spent a lot of my life studying seawalls, and we know they have impacts. First, they're very, pretty expensive. Many people today, at least this is what I see and hear, is, well, when are they going to come and protect me? Well, when you bought that house on the cliff, you've enjoyed that view for 10 years or 50 years. Nobody promised you a seawall. Nobody said your property will last forever. Definitely, we could put a lot of money into seawalls and rock revetments, and and build big stuff, but it costs money. It's going to be difficult for the people who maybe are on fixed incomes, who it's finally come to that edge. But I think we have to get to the point where say, well, the state's not going to build that to protect just your property. If there was a beach, we're going to lose the beach. So you better start, planning ahead, and maybe it's going to be 10 years from now, maybe it'll be 20, but don't think your children, your grandchildren are probably going to be able to enjoy the same experience that you had. Time is changing, conditions are changing, and I don't think it's that people can't accept what's happening. They can't accept how we're going to deal with it. But you can't leave them out of the equation. I think that's what the Coastal Commission problem was when they set out this LCPs have to include managed retreat. People start pushing back. Instead of saying, well, here's what's happening. Let's talk about what the options are for each particular area. Why managed retreat is not popular? First, nobody wants to retreat. That's giving up. It's surrendering. And nobody wants to be managed. So when you put those two together, it sounds horrible. So here's what I would say. First, every city and county needs to first acknowledge that climate change is real. It's now, it's everywhere. And part of climate change is seawater gets warmer and expands, and ice melts. And all ice melts at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. So the first thing for a community, and I think we probably need more community involvement, is to recognize it's happening, and it's happening now. The second step is, what are our vulnerabilities and at what time? So if it's a house, is it a sewage treatment plant? Is it a hotel? So if it's something really expensive that you can't afford to lose, you're going to probably want to be more conservative. If it's a bike path or a parking lot, we don't need to build a $1 billion parking lot. We can move it back. The third is, how do we respond or adapt to that? And when do we need to do that? And I would say, I think most people would be happy to see people live in their homes, use their road as long as you can. But at some point, whether we call it a trigger point or a threshold, we say, okay, and this happened up in Pacifica. They demolished 3 big apartment buildings. They were now within about 5 feet of the edge that dropped down 80 feet. The building department came out and said, these are not safe. They red tagged them and they demolished them. USGS has sort of done some modeling and says by 2070, 60% of Southern California's beaches will be gone. So when we armor the coast, we're basically make a decision to lose the beach. Now, for much of the coast where you are, Shell Beach and so forth, if there's no beach there now, it's because those cliffs are so hard, we're not moving them back very quickly. So at many places with steep cliffs, the Big Sur coast, there isn't any beach anyway. So it's where we have, more erodible shorelines where beaches exist that we're going to lose that